Hey, hi. In this video, I will show you how we can create Azure Kubernetes Service or AKS cluster in Azure using Terraform via GitHub Action. Okay. With that, let's get started. To know more about how you can set up the GitHub account, GitHub repo, and GitHub Actions and GitHub secrets. Okay. So to know more about all these configurations and all the required environmental configurations, please do watch my previous videos where I have explained everything from the scratch. Okay, and also please do subscribe my channel. That would really encourage me a lot. Okay, with that, let's get started to the demo. Okay, let me first quickly walk you through the Terraform code. Okay, so as you see in my screen here, I have cloned my repo from the GitHub account. Okay, and I have created a feature branch with the name feature branch 1, and which I will denote it as a development branch. And also I have one more branch with the name main branch, which I will denote it as a, production branch. Okay, so here a feature branch which I will use for development purpose, whereas for production release purpose I will be using my main branch. Okay, yeah. So with that, let's get started. Terraform, so as you see here in the repo, okay, so this is my repo. Let me show you my repo name. So this is my GitHub repo. Okay, so that contains GitHub related files under workflow folder. Okay, and these files names are namely like Terraform plan and Terraform apply. So Terraform plan is scoped to feature branch so that it will just show you the Terraform plan only, but it does not provisions the infrastructure actually. Okay, and along with Terraform apply. So Terraform apply, it is now pointing to main branch. It is the workflow which actually provisions the infrastructure. Okay, so that's a brief background about the workflow structure. Along with that, so I have two more Terraform file, one with the name create AKS cluster AKS infrastructure.terraform. As the name says, this Terraform file contains the all logical Terraform code which is required to provision the AKS cluster. Okay, along with that, I have a main.terraform file which contains two blocks. One is the provider block that is that comprises Azure RM block. Okay. Along with that, it has the Terraform state file configurations. Okay. With that, let's directly jump into the original code file. Okay, here I will quickly walk you through all the code chunks. Okay, so I will walk you through complete file code chunks, which is been written to provision the AKS cluster directly into my Azure account. Okay, with that, let's get started. Firstly, as you see, I'm declaring the local variables. Okay, so in Terraform we use locals, the keyword for defining your required variables locally in your Terraform file. Okay, so I'm doing the same here because I need AKS cluster name and location and the resource group name, right? So these are the variables which I would be using in the below. Okay, so that's all about the local block. And the next one is the get random. Okay, so get random is the one more block which will retrieve the random UID. Okay, so this block, what it does is it will get the random grid. Okay, I can tell in a layman's word, like it will just get the random grid. Okay, so with that, so that's all about this the resource random underscore pet block. Okay, let's go to the next one. So that's next one. I'm creating a Azure resource group. So this might be very familiar with you. So here, let me quickly again tell you the same thing. So here is the resource. So we are provisioning the Azure RM underscore resource underscore group. So which is the resource type of Terraform for creating the resource group. Okay. So and this is the my key. This is my variable which will store the resource group data. And inside the flower bracket block, I'm giving the required parameters, that is location and the name. Okay, so as you see here, right, so here I'm referring the values to those variables, to those parameters from the local variables itself. Okay, so as you see here, so I'm pointing to the locations and the resource group. Okay, and so let's go to the next code chunk inside this file. Okay, so this is the block which is meant for creating a log analytics workspace. So let me tell you why log analytics workspace here is. So this log analytics workspace will be used for monitoring the Azure AKS cluster. Okay, henceforth we are creating this service here. Here, as you see the resource. Okay, again the keyword or the resource type of log analytics workspace is Azure RM underscore log analytics underscore workspace. Okay, so then again the variable which denoting this which is pointing to this, which will store this data of this log analytics workspace. And inside this I'm providing the required variables for log analytics workspace. One is the name, location, resource group, and the day retentions in the days. Okay, so as you see, again I'm just referring the values to these parameter from the above created code only. Okay, so here the location where the log analytics workspace will be created is again pointing to the location same where my resource group is getting created. Okay, so if you select this, it will just point out to the, it will just referring to the above created block itself. Okay, so it's just getting the location out of my resource group properties. Okay, and again the resource groups, again the resource group name is itself, it's pointing to the above resource group itself. Okay, yeah. And the retention in days, I'm pointing it to as a 30 days. Okay, with that let's go to the next block. So here is the, this is the data block. So in the data keyword in the Terraform is meant for retrieving the some data from the Azure. Okay, so that's what the data keyword does in Terraform. So the again the resource type which I'm using to retrieve the data is Azure RM Kubernetes version service version. Okay, so this is the keyword which this is a keyword or the Terraform resource type which will be used to retrieve the latest AKS version present in the Azure. Okay, yeah. And again the variable name pointing to this data is current. Okay, inside this block I'm just pointing to the location. So so the Kubernetes the AKS service that I'm creating, okay, it will be sitting in a location, right? So here my location is so to tell you explicitly, the location here which I'm opting is the central US. Okay, so in general, so what is the latest Kubernetes version which is there in the central US? Okay, so that version will be retrieved by this data block. Okay, so that's a complete information about that data blocks. With that, let's jump to the next code block chunk. So that is the original code block which actually creates the AKS service. Okay, again so the resource type is the Azure RM underscore Kubernetes underscore cluster. Okay, so this is the resource type which is responsible for creating the AKS cluster in Azure. Okay, and the this is the variable which stores the data of my AKS cluster. Inside this I'm providing the multiple parameters which is indeed required for creating a perfect, I can say that at least a perfect AKS cluster at Azure. Okay, I cannot call it this is the ideal AKS cluster creation AKS cluster definition, but this is one of the minimum or basic required stable AKS cluster definition. Okay, so there are multiple ways that you can create the AKS cluster, but among the multiple better options, so this is one of them. Okay, so let me take you in that way. So let's go to and walk you let me walk you through the parameters which I'm providing for AKS cluster creation. One is the DNS prefix. Okay, I'm giving the DNS prefix values from my local variables itself. Again, the Kubernetes version, right? So as I explained above, so I'm retrieving the Kubernetes version from the above code itself. Then the location is same as my resource group is. Then the name of the cluster is I'm again retrieving from the local variables. Okay, local variables of the Terraform, and this node resource group. Okay, so let me tell you here so I'm creating the two resource group. One is meant for storing the AKS cluster service, and other one resource group which I'm dedicating it for storing the AKS cluster nodes. Okay, so henceforth the parameter denotes it's the same as node underscore resource underscore group. Okay, so this is nothing but node resource group. Okay, so this is the name of the my node resource group. Again the resource group. Okay, so this is the resource group where my AKS cluster will be sitting. So this is the same resource group which I have created just above to this code. Okay, With that, let's go to the next parameter. So the next parameter is an object. Okay, so that is add on underscore profile. Okay, so this parameter is an object, and inside this object I'm just giving the required parameters. One is the policy. Okay, so again the policy is again an object. Inside this I have a parameter called enabled. So enabled, I'm making it as a true so that the Azure policies will be enabled on my AKS cluster. Inside that, so again there is a one more object, that is the OMS agent. So OMS agent is nothing but log analytics workspace. Okay, so log analytics workspace was earlier, it was called as a OMS agent. So inside that again I have two parameters. One is enabled, that is I'm marking it as a true so that it will be enabled, and along with that this is the log analytics workspace ID. So the log analytics workspace which we have created above, so from there only I'm just retrieving the log analytics workspace ID. Okay, so and this is the way that you need to retrieve the Azure resources IDs, okay, in general. Okay, with that let's go to the next parameter. So next parameter is again one more object type parameter. So that name is default underscore node underscore pool. So it's this defines the default node pool configurations. Okay, so again that comprises certain parameters. Here I'm choosing the scale set. Okay, so I'm provisioning the AKS on a scale set. Okay, so that's what the definition says here. Henceforth I'm putting the scale set availability to a particular availability zone, that is one. Okay, you can choose one, two, three according to the availability of CPU cores or memory availability based on the resource availability. You need to choose this the set. Okay, so I'm here for demo. I'm choosing the availability zones equal to only one that is one. Okay, availability zone equal to one, whereas you are free to choose one comma two comma three as well. Okay, again, so in a note, let me tell you that it depends on the availability of resource belongs to that location. Okay, location in the sense where you are creating the AKS cluster. After that there is a one more parameter, so that is enable auto scaling. Okay, so enable auto scaling is nothing but, since I'm provisioning the AKS cluster via scale set, so this is the parameter which tells like, are you so this is the one parameter which will tell me indirectly that I'm provisioning the AKS cluster on scale set. Okay, VM scale set. Yes, when you are opting the AKS cluster on a VM scale set, then you should be having the auto scale enabled equal to true. Okay, henceforth it's a true. Okay, then the number inside the scale set, so how much maximum node can run. Okay, so maximum node can run on a scale set is I'm setting as a 3, but you are free to use according to your requirement. Okay, with that then again the minimum count of the nodes is equal to 1. So okay, so this is the minimum node which is always be running in my AKS cluster, which is running on a VM scale set. Okay, then the name of my the node pool is system. So okay, this is the system node pool configurations. Then the orchestrator version, nothing but my AKS cluster version. So this is the latest version which will be retrieved here. Then the node disk size. So the node disk size, I'm making it as a 124 GB, whereas you can define your own disk size. But I would recommend you to go through the Microsoft documents so that you can configure it according to the possibility values. Okay, possible values. Okay. Then the VM size, I'm choosing as a standard DS V2 versions. Okay. And again here also I would recommend you to choose according to your requirements. Okay. And after that I have one more parameter block, that is again an object, and here is the identity. Okay, so this is the identity. So identity type which I'm choosing is the system managed identity. Okay, so this is the system managed identity. So let me tell you one thing behind this choosing the system identity is, so actually the cluster AKS cluster supports SPN based authentication and identity, that is managed identity based authentication. Okay, here why I choose system managed identity is because by choosing this authentication method I would be free to use, okay, I would be leveraged to use kubelet AKS network configurations. Okay, so I can choose so there are the two types of networking options present in the AKS cluster. One is the AGCNI, other one is the kubenet. Okay, so that is kubenet is nothing but the AKS cluster itself creates the its own virtual network, and it will provision the the required IP addresses to its pods or to its nodes according to the it will manage the virtual network on its own. Okay, so that is the difference between the AKS networking policies. Okay, one is kubenet and the AGCNI. I would again recommend you to go to the Microsoft document and find out the actual difference between those two networking configurations of AKS cluster. Okay, and finally, so this is the one more object-based parameter, that is the role-based, that is the RBAC. Okay, so here I'm just integrating my AKS cluster with the AAD-based authentication. Okay, so I'm just making that the AAD to provide the required role-based access control for my AKS cluster. Okay, so this is the newly added feature on the AKS cluster. So if you want to obtain this one, I would recommend you to obtain this one so that the access control on the AKS cluster will be managed via AAD authentication itself. Okay, so to have this to configure this block, you choose the again inside this one. Inside this one, there are further parameters like enabled equal to true, and after that again one more parameter object, so that is the Azure Active Directory. As I said, like it's an AAD authentication integration with the AKS cluster. Okay, then the managed. Okay, so yes, it is managed equal to true, and after that I'm giving the admin group object ID. So this is the AAD group which will act as the AKS cluster admin, so the cluster which is going to create via this Terraform file. Okay, so so that AKS cluster have an admins. Okay, so those admins are belongs from this group. Okay, and again, so this is the object ID of my AD group, which I have pre-created. Okay, which I manually created, and I retrieved the AD group object ID and I have pasted it. Okay, so why I did it because Terraform is very so Terraform is bit complex in creating the AD group via Terraform itself. Okay, that requires certain elevated permissions to needs to be provided to your SPN. So there is a long procedure. I would recommend you to go and walk through the Microsoft documents so that you will differentiate and you will find the requirements or required permissions to be provided to your SPN so that you can get your AAD created on the go itself. Okay, so for this one case, since it's a one-time task and it's not like a repetitive task. Okay, henceforth I have created the AAD group and I just retrieved the AD group object ID and I'm just placing it. Okay, so it makes sense to even though it is not added in the Terraform code. Okay, yeah. So that's all. So this comprises this comprises complete AKS cluster definition in Terraform. Okay, so with that, let me go to the next code chunk. So here, as I defined as I was explaining while explaining the AKS cluster configuration here. Okay, so here as you see here, so this is the default node pool. Okay, which will be managed by system. Here again we might need, okay, we definitely need one more user managed AKS cluster node pool. Okay, so that's what I'm doing here. So with this code block, what I'm doing is I'm creating one more AKS cluster node pool which is user managed. Okay, so let me walk you through this block again. So again, this is a resource. Okay, a resource in the Terraform, and the keyword or the Terraform resource type is Azure RM underscore Kubernetes underscore cluster underscore node underscore pool. Okay, so inside this, again, this is the my variable. Inside this, I'm just repeating those variables which I have provided previously in the default cluster node pools. Okay, while defining the default node pools. Okay, again, the availability, I'm pointing it to 1, and in the auto scaling I'm making it true. Then the Kubernetes version, maximum and minimum counts of nodes. Mode, here you see the difference here, right? So here is the mode is user. Okay, but in the AKS cluster, okay, so here the mode would be system. Okay, that's what the difference is. And so the name is I'm giving as a user, so their name is something like system. Okay, yeah. Again, the orchestrator version, the OS disk and the vMan is remains as same as it's a default node pool. Okay, yeah. So let me give the brief about why this is needed, because with by creating the user managed cluster node pools, you will be achieving the high performance and the highly availability of your AKS pods and the AKS pods. Okay, so in general. Okay. Yeah, so that's all. That's all the complete code walkthrough of your AKS cluster creation via Terraform. Okay. So this is the code which I have committed already in my future branch. Okay, and as you see here, right, in the sync button, it shows that there is a one change to be needs to be merged into the upstream branch. Okay, as you see, there are two arrows. One arrow is pointing up and the other arrow is pointing down. So the arrow which is pointing up is pointing to the upstream branch. So it says upstream branch, one thing needs to be committed, okay, or one thing needs to be pushed. Okay, so let's go ahead and push this change to the upstream branch. That is nothing but the branch which is sitting in my in my GitHub repo. Okay, once the sync is completed, automatically my one of my workflow will be kicked in. Okay, so that workflow will be running on my future branch. Okay, let me take you to there as well. So here is my git repo. So as you see, this is my git repo and this is my code. Okay, yeah, and so here is the my actions. Okay, so those actions which I have explained in the starting of this video, so these are the Terraform plan and the Terraform apply. Okay, as you see here, so Terraform plan is now running because, as I said you, so currently by clicking on the button, synchronization button, so that pushed the code to the upstream branch. The upstream branch is nothing but here again the future branch. Okay, the code is now pushed to my future branch, which is sitting in the Azure GitHub in the GitHub. Okay, in the GitHub repo. Okay, so it will take some times, and what it does is, so yeah, it has indeed finished the Terraform plan task. Okay, so let me quickly walk you through the so how the Terraform plan looks like. Okay, yeah, as it says, once you if you walk through these Terraform logs, you will definitely understand what actually the Terraform will going to do in the next apply stage. Okay, as it says, plus for create and smaller than equal to is for read operation. Okay, so first one, it is reading the Kubernetes version. Okay, yeah, as you see, here is the Kubernetes version, plus it is creating the AKS cluster. Okay, so that's two things it is doing. Okay, this is the complete Kubernetes definition. Okay, and so below this one, it's creating a node pool. Okay, so this is creation of node pool task, and it's also creating the Loganalytics workspace as well, and it's creating the resource group. Okay, it's creating a resource group as well, and it is also creating a random resource. Okay, that is the local resource of a Terraform. Okay, and at the end it says the summary, right? It says this plan is able to identify that the Terraform will create 5 add operations, 0 change operations, and 0 destroy operations. So nothing but it will create a 5 resources in the Azure subscription, 0 changes, and 0 destroy in the same subscription. Okay, that's what the summary says. Okay, with that, so this is just a plan. Okay, but till now the infrastructure has not yet been provisioned. Okay, let's move to the next step, and we will make the AKS creation process started. Okay, so for this one, I need to create a pull request. Okay, please watch my previous videos. Okay, where I have explained the in detail the process in regards to like how the two branch strategy is, and how the pull request and the merger strategy is, so that the finally the AKS creation process will get started. Okay, so let me create a pull request fastly. So here you see, so while creating the pull request, you can see the differences between the files. Okay, so this is the right side is the file which gets modified in that way, and this code will go and sit in the main branch. Okay, so from the main branch we are actually provisioning the AKS cluster. Okay, let's go ahead and click on the create button. Okay, once it's created, the pull request is created successfully now. Okay, so but the code is still not yet merged in the my main branch. Okay, so let me show you that as well. So this is my main branch. If I open the AKS cluster, see here there is no code at all. Okay, so for to make that code appear in the to appear in the main branch, and to kicking the Terraform apply.yaml action to kick started, I need to merge the code. Okay, so that's how I have defined it. Okay, so let me click on the merge. Okay, you can give the required comments and the required heading of the commands according to your wish as well. Okay, so let's see if the action got kicked in. Okay, as you see here, the Terraform apply pipeline get started. Okay, so it would definitely take some time because it's going to create a file resources. Okay, so let me open that workflow, what it is actually doing. So as you see here, it has set up the Terraform. It has finished the Terraform init. Now there is no plan. Okay, plan is already been done. Henceforth, I'm just directly jumping into. I'm just defining. I have defined in a such a way that it just directly jump and try to apply the Terraform configurations. Okay, yeah. As you see here, it first started to create the random resources. Okay, it has successfully created the Azure resource group as well. Okay, and now it has started to create the log analytics workspace. Okay, so now it's still creating the log analytics workspace. So why I'm walking you through these logs is so the logs will explain you what actually the Terraform is doing currently with respect to your subscription. Okay, in your subscription, what actually it is doing. So that's what the logs is tells. Okay, these logs are very self-explanatory. I would always recommend you to go through those logs, okay, so that you understand the how actually the Terraform behaves, okay, how the Terraform actually works, okay. If you understand that how the Terraform actually works, how Terraform actually provisions the Azure or cloud resources, then only you will get the knowledge, okay. Once you have that knowledge, then you can play with it, okay. So that's what the main motive behind my telling you to always keep watching those logs. You will try to understand how the Terraform tries to create the resource. Okay, yeah. Even I did the same, and even I'm still learning. Okay, so that's what I can say. Okay, so with that, let's see. So now currently here, as you see, it's creating the AKS cluster now. It has successfully provisioned the log analytics workspace. Now it is creating the AKS cluster. Okay. In general, the AKS cluster creation process will take some time. Okay. Once the AKS cluster is successfully provisioned from here, I will just walk you and show you here. Okay. In my this is my subscription. Okay. So let me tell you. So this is my subscriptions which I have scoped from here, and here is the resources where actually will be provisioned. Okay. So as you see here, the cloud quick POC RG. Okay. So which I have given this as a variable in my Terraform file. Now it is getting provisions. Okay. So let's wait for some more time. Once the AKS cluster is get created, I will show you the which are the resources being created. Okay. Indeed, this is the AKS infrastructure creation process is indeed a bit complex. One thing which I like to tell you as a note is please do rigorously study the Microsoft documents in regards to know more about AKS service, and also please do rigorously study the Terraform, okay, Terraform enterprise blogs, which will explain you how the Terraform declarative language is being defined to provision the AKS cluster. Okay, so once you are well known with these two poles, okay, with these two towers, you are now good to, okay, you are now good to create the Azure Kubernetes service. Okay, that's what my aim was. Let's wait for some more time so that it finishes the AKS cluster creation process. As you see here, so it has lapsed the 2 minutes, but still creating the AKS cluster. Okay. Indeed, it's a bit time consuming task because even though from not only from the Terraform, okay, you can choose any of the language. Okay, let's say you are choosing the AGCLI and provisioning the AKS cluster. Indeed, it will take the same time as the Terraform is. Okay. Similarly, if you choose to provision the AKS cluster via PowerShell as well, it will take the same time because you might be knowing that in the backend, right? Backend, all these command line tool or all these tools are backend using the same APIs through which the actual AKS cluster resources, AKS are the Azure services are getting provisioned. Okay, so that's what my motive behind telling that. Okay, let's wait for some more time so that it can finish up the its resource creation process. Okay. Again, again, let me iterate you one more time that so the demo which I have showed here is one of the better way of provisioning the AKS cluster, but this is not the best. Okay, again it depends on the organizations to organizations, and also it again depends on the requirement to requirement, but this is So this demo will give an basement, okay, basement for you, so that you understand that yeah, this is the way that AKS cluster can be provisioned, okay. And this is where you can kick started. You can start your journey in AKS creation via complete automated automation, okay, via complete automation or complete infrastructure as a code methodologies, okay. That's what I can tell. Um, yeah, so let's wait for some more time. So let's see. Okay, so let's parallelly see what are the resources it has created. Okay, as you see here, right? It has provisioned. Okay, so what it has done is it has provisioned two resource groups. One is with the name Quick Cloud Quick POCs RG001, Cloud Quick POC RG001 hyphen AKS. Okay, so this is my this is resource group is nothing but my node resource group, okay, node pool resource group, okay. And the first resource group, that is cloud quick poc rg001, is nothing but the resource group which will store my aks cluster, okay, or aks service. Okay, this is the resource group which will store two services in general, that is log analytics workspace and the kubernetes. Okay, so this is the solution which is integrated inside the log analytics workspace, okay. Yeah, so let's again parallel see if it is still creating. Yes, indeed it is still creating, because the AKS service creation process is a bit lengthy. Okay, henceforth it is taking much time as well. Okay, meantime, let's see what it is actually doing. Okay, so this is the AKS service which will be provisioned by this Terraform. Okay, I'm showing you parallelly. Okay, so it would be still in the creating status. Okay, as you see, it's still in the creating status. As I told you. So this is the Kubernetes version. Okay, this is the latest version. Henceforth, it has chosen the latest version. Okay, yeah, and the network plugin. Okay, so the network type or the network plugin which choose is kubenet. Okay, so since it's opted the kubenet, it has provisioned the fresh virtual network. Okay, if you would have opted the agcni plugin, then you are free to create the fresh virtual network, or you can use the existing virtual network itself. Okay, so that's what the flexibility will be given by the agcni, but not by the kubenet. Okay, and the node pool. Okay, so the node pool currently is the node one, but actually the node pool will be, there will be two node pools. Okay, one will be of system created, other one will be of user created node pools. Okay, so currently this is the system provisioned node pool. One more node pool will be created after it, so that is the user managed. Okay, user managed aks node pools. So it is still creating, so let's wait for some time. Yeah, here you go. It has successfully, finally, it has successfully created the AKS cluster created. Now it is trying to create the user node pools. Okay, so as you see, it's creating the user node pools now. Okay, so let me refresh the service. The service should be successfully created now. So I'm just, let me refresh from here. Yeah. So let me take you again to the same service so that it should be in a proper running state. Yeah, here you go. The status is succeeded. So congratulations, you have seen the AKS cluster creation via Terraform via using the GitHub Actions. Okay, this is the pure DevOps way of provisioning the AKS cluster, or Kubernetes service in Azure. Okay, so AKS is nothing but a managed Kubernetes service from Azure. Okay, yeah. So let me again show you the one more resource group. So this is the node resource group, okay, which will store our nodes data, okay, nodes related resources. As you see here, so it has created 10 resources. That is surprisingly big, okay, because indeed it requires these many resources, okay. So it has provisioned one public IP address, one NSG, one route table. Okay. Since we have opted kubenet, okay, so the kubenet network plugin indeed required a route table. Okay, because what kubenet does is it will provision the independent virtual network. Okay, and it will assign the IP addresses from that virtual network to the pods independently. Okay, so that So that's the reason it has provisioned the route table. Okay, so why does it provision the route table is because to communicate inside this one, right? To communicate from that Kubernetes managed virtual network to the resource outside. Okay, so it will use this route table. Okay, so this is the reason that it has provisioned the AKS route table. That is Azure route table meant for AKS purpose. Okay, AKS communication purpose. As you see here, okay, so currently it has provisioned the system node pool. This is the one skill set. The other skill set is meant for user node pool. Okay, so that is for meant for user node pool purpose. Okay, yeah, and it has provisioned multiple managed identity. Okay, so these are the managed identity which will be used one created for Azure policy because we have enabled the Azure policy. So henceforth it has created one managed identity which is meant for Azure policies, one for OMS agent. So that is the nothing but this the managed identity will be used by the agent. Okay, yeah, and the other one is for AKS clusters. So henceforth there are three managed identity being created. Along with that, there is a one virtual network. So this is the virtual network which I was telling. Okay, so let's go and have a peek in it. Okay, so let me see the address. Okay, yeah, here you go. So this address is too big. Okay, so henceforth I was telling the yeah that it will assign the IP addresses per pods. Okay, so that's the reason. So this is the AKS subnet being used with this huge number of IP address, and it will supply these IP addresses to each pods which will be running in the nodes. Okay, yeah, and from there, if from this network to outside, okay, outside the AKS service, if you want to communicate, okay, let's say if you want to communicate, or if some other service need to be integrated, or to communicate from the to communicate from out of the network or outside from the outside to AKS cluster, if you want to have the communication, then that kind of route table will be used. Okay, henceforth the route tables are being created here. So this will be used as a for routing purpose. Okay, in general. Okay, and this is the NSG which will be used for the net which will be used, and it will be used here. Okay, so let me show you where that will be used again. Yeah, so here you go. So this is the subnet which consumes those two resources. One is your network security group, and other one is the red table. Okay, so both are being consumed here on this subnet only. So let me see. Yeah, here you go. So it has successfully provisioned the other resources as well. Yeah. So it has finally provisioned the user node pool as well. Okay. So this is the so let me show you again the user node pool here. Okay. So this is the VM scale set which is meant for user nodes. Okay. With that, finally, before I conclude, let me show you how it looks. Okay. So this is your fully flexed Kubernetes service which we have just now provisioned. Okay. So inside that, let me walk you through the finally walk you through the node pools. Okay. We should be seeing here the two node pools now. Here you go. So there are the two node pools. One is mode of system, other one is mode of user. Okay. Yeah, so that's it. So this is how the you can provision the fully flexed AKS cluster via using Terraform via GitHub Actions. Okay, that's it. This concludes the completion of the demo. With that, thanks a lot for watching my videos, and one more time, please do subscribe my channel. That would really encourage me a lot. With that, thank you. Thanks a lot.